Lesson 3 awaits you now, and Lesson 3 is a very important lesson. Dare I say almost the most important? They're all important, but this one covers how to make a chord. Specifically, the E major, the A major, and the D major chord. Now, regardless of what chord you're making, there's some key things that I want you to keep in mind when you're making chords. Number 1, fret with your fingertips. Don't fret it on the pad of your finger, fret on your fingertips. Number 2, maintain good arch with your fingers. You don't want to be fretting chords flat because that's going to involve muted strings. You're going to want to arch your fingers so that the strings beneath the strings that you're fretting can ring open and clear the way that we want them to. And the last thing is your thumb position. Okay, you want your thumb to be right across from your fingertips when fretting. This is a guideline. Everybody's hands are different, so you'll see different players do things different with their thumb, but ultimately it's on the back of the neck, providing counteracting pressure so that we can fret clearly and make the notes ring the way that we want them to. So we're going to make an E major chord here. And what we're going to do, you'll notice as you look at the tab, you'll still see your 6 lines, but you're going to see all the numbers lined up in a row. That means, and should kind of set off a red flag in your head like, oh, hey, that's a chord. There's also chord diagrams, which is a kind of physical look at the fretboard with dots showing what string is being pressed down at what fret. So for this E major chord, we're going to place our pointer finger on the 1st fret of the G, our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D, and our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A. This is a full 6-string chord, so we're going to strum from the low E string all the way to the high E string. But we're going to do a very slow, very deliberate strum at first to make sure everything is clear, like so. Once everything is clear, you can give it kind of a quicker strum. That's your E major chord. Next, we're going to make an A major chord. The A major chord will begin with your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the B string, your ring finger reaching over to the 2nd fret of the G, and your pointer finger reaching in and grabbing the 2nd fret of the D. This is the only way I can cram my fingers in this little amount of space because everything is on the 2nd fret. This is a 5-string chord, and we're going to strum it from the A string all the way down. Again, a slow, deliberate strum at first to make sure everything sounds good, and then we can quicken the pace. There I had a muted note, so I have to make an adjustment, right? If we get a muted note like that, that means something's going wrong. Either a finger is touching a string that we don't want it to, or we're not fretting hard enough. So I'll make an adjustment and then redo it. There it's nice and clear, and I can ensure that I have good chord tone now. That's your A major chord. Now, before we move to the D major chord, I want you to take special note of the orientation of my fretting fingers. It's going to be very similar for a D chord. So the D major chord is as follows. The middle finger will go to the 2nd fret of the high E, the ring finger, 3rd fret of the B, and the pointer finger, 2nd fret of the G. This is going to be a 4-string chord, so we're going to strum from the D string all the way through to the high E. It's going to sound like this. Now that last note's a little muted again, so I'm going to slide my middle finger back just a bit because it's right on top of the fret. And there it's nice and clear, and again we can quicken the pace of the strum. So there you have it, the E major, the A major, and the D major chords. Take your time with these, make sure they sound good. This is not a race. Go slow and make sure that the chords sound good, because the next thing that we're going to add is transitioning from one chord to the next. This is really a hard task, so we want to make sure that the chords are rock solid before we move to that. You've just watched one section of my 22-part Acoustic Guitar 101 course that takes a complete beginner from zero to playing songs. In this course, you're going to learn how to tune your guitar, read tablature, play open chords, and even play to a backing track, so that at the end, you can strum along to your favorite song, read any tablature that you encounter, as long as it's for guitar, and even play with another musician. Now this course has 22 videos, and I want to make sure that you don't miss any of them and that you do them in the right order. So I've created a 100% free downloadable PDF course guide that's going to contain descriptions for each section, links to the individual lessons, and the tabs which you're going to need for each lesson. So to get this course guide today, all you have to do is click the link in the video or the description, enter your email address, and I'll send it to you right away so that you have links to the lessons, the tabs, and a way to keep track of your progress. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next lesson.